G-Bosh, not Gabosh, like I'm sure some of you guys read it. It's G-Bosh. Get better or stay home. When is this fan base going to learn? After how many players do we have to ruin their mentality before we learn that that is not the right way to be? If you're one of those fans who before this game was saying something negative about leaving Rashford and Garnacho at home, then honestly you should hold your hands up and you should be ashamed of listening to every word he has to say. That is your new sporting director. That is the guy they respect and they start to listen to, and they're going to listen to. So you're going to hate even more what I'm about to say. The worst player today, guys, the worst player on our squad today was... What a game. What a game. We won. We beat Man City. We saw a lot of good things today. Some that weren't so good, but we did see a lot of good things. Two things we definitely didn't see is a Rashford and a Garnacho. They were watching from home. We're going to talk about that a little bit later, but first we're going to chop up this game, discuss it, dissect it, talk about what we liked and what still needs to improve. What's up, YouTube? Thank you for clicking once again. Thank you for joining me for another video. This is Semeex Football. I am Semeex, and let's get right into it. Let's talk about the positives first. Maguire was a beast today. Maguire was defending out of his mind today, and he was distributing the ball pretty well. The whole back three was pretty much solid today. I think being the center of a back three really suits Maguire, and I am not a big Harry Maguire fan. I have said countless times in the past that I want him sold. I want him moved on. So I hold my hand up and tell you that today he did a fantastic job, incredible job, and my hat's off to Harry Maguire. I have also said in the past that ever since he was left off for a while, stripped of the captaincy, the man put his head down, got to work, and got a little bit better. And today, again, we're seeing a good performance from Harry Maguire. Nothing negative to say about Harry Maguire. The guy put his heart and soul into it, and that's what I want to see from him every minute that he gets to play on the pitch. Anytime I see Harry Maguire on the pitch, this is the Harry Maguire I want to see. He distributed the ball perfectly. He was passing left and right, long and short, and he also held down the middle of the fort. He helped out any of the defenders on his sides that needed help. He did a pretty good job. I watched the game twice, and I was paying attention and going, man, he was doing really good, especially in the final minutes. After we went up 2-1, Harry Maguire broke up a play in the box. He did a lot of good things and cleared the ball out of the box too. He was everywhere. Hats off to him. Out of possession, the other person that did a really fantastic job was Manuel Ugarte. Again, I am someone who wanted Joao Neves over the summer over Manuel Ugarte. I always said that Manuel Ugarte is going to be great out of possession. I just don't know how good he's going to be in possession. A little bit more about that a little later, actually, about Manuel Ugarte in possession. Some info I got from Diogo last time I had a conversation with him that I didn't mention in the last video that I do want to touch on this video because I was looking for it when the game was on. But out of possession, Manuel Ugarte was a beast. He was everywhere. The man worked his tail off in and out of possession, covering a lot of ground. I believe if we looked at running stats today, Bruno Fernandes and Manuel Ugarte were probably the guys on our squad that ran the most. They did a fantastic job. Again, that's another one. Bruno Fernandes didn't waste too many balls today, did a much better job, and also took his captaincy role a little bit more, put the captaincy a little bit more on his own shoulders and told the squad when to slow down and when to pick it up, what kind of runs to make. I'm starting to see a different attitude from Bruno, a lot less crying and moaning and a lot more getting on with it and being like a tutor for the young guys like Ahmad, letting him know. He did a lot of work with Ahmad and a lot of talking with Ahmad, which I love. I like to see a senior player take a veteran's role with a young kid and help them think better on the field, which Ahmad still needs. Ahmad's a great talent, but he still needs some mentorship because sometimes he does these little mistakes that we let slide because we all like Ahmad, but it's there. The mistakes are there. Sometimes he should be releasing a pass and he doesn't, and he goes backwards. And sometimes he takes one too many dribbles, or the dribble's a little too long, or he takes shots he shouldn't be taking. But you can't fault the kid's heart and soul. That's what we love about him. He's always in it every single minute. And today we won the game because of Ahmad and his efforts. So hats off to him. Great game. Let's see if he can keep improving, keep getting better. And by the way, this is exactly what Amorim and Bruno are saying about Ahmad when they talk about Ahmad in interviews, is that they don't want to blow up his head. They don't want to tell him that he's the greatest ever and that he still has a lot to improve. And I agree. And that's how I want us to be as a fan base. I don't like it when people start calling Ahmad Messi. No, he's nowhere near Messi. Look, what are you talking about? He's nowhere near Messi. And by the way, Messi at Ahmad's age was much better than Ahmad is now. Ahmad's still great. I have high hopes for him. He's starting to become my favorite player on the squad. Probably is. But that doesn't mean we walk around calling him Messi. That's not what Amorim would do. That's not what Bruno would do. And that's not what we should do. When is this fan base going to learn? After how many players do we have to ruin their mentality before we learn that that is not the right way to be? That is not a good attitude. And then people call me out for having this, let's say, rougher or tougher attitude on players. I'm not trying to be rough. I'm not trying to be tough. I'm not trying to be an ass. I'm being logical. I'm being real. And this is the way I treat players that I coach. When they achieve something, we celebrate, but we talk about all the things that we still need to improve. Anyway, let's get right back into it. In possession, we did a much better job holding on to possession. We did a much better job passing the ball around and not wasting passes. Now, we still had our own little problems. Onana, for one, wasn't that great whenever he had to distribute or pass over 20 yards. I think he was maybe 50-50 on any pass that he did to the wing backs. But I got to say that he did a pretty good job of clearing the ball, like being extra safe with the ball, if you know what I mean there, because sometimes you would take a risk and those risks sometimes really bite us in the ass. And today I feel like he didn't take any big risks. Everything was just, let me just clear it. And he didn't fuss around or waste time on the ball. He just booted it. Even though he had enough time to give it one or two more touches, he would just boot it instead of waiting for Erling Haaland to press him. And I like that. It was safe. It was the right thing to do. But sometimes he had all the time in the world to hit one of our wingbacks, and he would just hit it. He'd overhit it. He overhit so many passes to both sides, not just Diallo's side, but also Mazraoui's side. So that's something that we need to look at and we need to work on, which coincidentally in the news, it seems that there is a rumor going on that Manchester United is looking at a Brazilian goalkeeper named John Victor. I don't remember his name. I'm not going to say it, but he's Botafogo's goalkeeper. And he's Brazilian, and they're looking at bringing him in probably in January, guys. So it's really cool to see that there's fast stuff moving on. I don't think we'll bring him in January unless Altay Bayonder is leaving in January too. That's the only way I see him coming in January, but I think Altay wants to leave. He'll probably leave either January or summer, and then we would bring in somebody else, and maybe it's this Brazilian guy that's in the news right now. But let's get back to the game. I will sometimes do this. You guys got to stick around with me for this ride because I don't really prepare much. I take little notes. I have a little outline, and then I just rant. And here we go. So back in the game, I noticed Maguire and De Ligt were moving the ball a lot faster. They were not wasting touches. They were taking one or two touches, and they would distribute the ball and start and keep the possession going. I noticed Licha still taking too many touches. He's still walking towards the low before he passes him the ball, which drives me nuts. I'm just like, either pass him the ball or don't. If you're going to walk towards him, the only thing the low can do is pass it right back to you. That's it. Because if the low tries to do anything else, it's going to turn the ball over. There's no other, and that's what'll happen. If you guys watch that game over again, or any game, and if you notice how Licha starts to like walk or stride with the ball towards the low before he gives the ball to the low, the only options Delo has is pass it right back to him, or pass it to the goalkeeper, or try something super duper risky, which usually turns around to bite us in the ass. And it's not Delo's fault. Licha should not be doing that. He should either be giving him, be decisive. Before you receive the ball, have in your mind what you're going to do. And if you happen, while you're receiving the ball, if you happen to catch by the corner of your eye, or you get that instinct, that little feeling that the other team knows what you're going to do and they're trying to block that pass off, then change your mind, turn around and go the other way. But don't just hold the ball and dribble and look in the same direction, dribbling in the same direction. Everyone in the world knows you're going to Delo. And as soon as you pass the ball, Delo has no room, time, or space, and he has to pass it back to you. It's just a waste. It's a waste of time, and it's a waste of a possession. And sometimes Delo might think about doing something else, and he's got no time to actually like make a decision. So he's got to make a decision instantly, and he might decide to try a different pass, and that pass might end up biting us in the ass. Now, I'm not giving Delo an excuse for making a dumb pass, but I also don't like when Licha doesn't give him time or space to think. He's forcing him to make a decision quickly. I don't like that. Licha really needs to look at himself and watch that on video and stop doing it. It's been happening for way too many games now. Way too many games. And that's one thing about Licha that I think that he needs to get used to, like the rhythm of the Premier League, and go faster. And that's one thing that I actually am liking about Ugarte. Ugarte used to be slow too. The first couple of games that I watched Ugarte play for us in possession, Ugarte was painfully slow under Erik ten Hag. It was painful, and I was like, come on. This guy's great out of possession, but he's horrible in possession. Today, I didn't see that. Today, I saw Ugarte was decisive. He took 1 or 2 touches and passed right away. And those 1 or 2 touches were to set up on the right angle to make the pass. Love that. And this is what we need to see from Licha, and Licha can become like a stable player in our back three. If that doesn't happen, then I don't really see it. I think he's going to be a backup for somebody else that we're going to buy in the summertime. Anyway, the game for me, what I'm going to be looking for moving forward is there was a run of play in the game from the 58th minute to the 62nd minute. And I wish I could play it all for you guys. I wish I could put it on this video and show you the whole play for 3.5, 4 minutes, but I can't because, I'll get copyrighted. But we had possession for that long. We had possession for about 3 minutes and 40 seconds, where I believe one Manchester City player touched the ball for one single little touch, which didn't really mean anything, and it was right back to us. And we passed the ball back and forth. Almost every player on our squad touched the ball in that run of play, and it ended with a cross and a header by Ahmad, which the goalkeeper saved, and then we had a corner kick. That right there was the first time that I saw us play like Sporting plays, like the Ruben Amorim style, where the possession went forward. We looked for openings and gaps. We didn't find any. We brought it all the way back to our goalkeeper and stretched their team out, and then started finding little gaps to go through. And it ends with a cross and a header right on, I believe, on goal. It might have hit the post if the goalie didn't save it, but the goalkeeper, Ederson, saved it. It goes out for a corner kick. And I was amazed and happy. And after the game, I had that in mind to go watch that run of play again. So right after the game, I rewound and watched that again and again. And I was like, okay, this is it. This is what Sporting used to do. This is what we're supposed to be doing. This is what we're supposed to evolve into. So what I'm going to be looking for in future games is see if we can replicate that moment, those 3 minutes. If we can replicate runs like that more often, that is the whole deal. That's everything. Are we starting to become his team? Another short thing I noticed when I was watching the game that I want to talk about is your new sporting director. Guys, take a look at this clip. You'll see that Dave Brailsford and Jim Ratcliffe are sitting on either side of Jason Wilcox, and they're both leaning into him as he explains things or talks to them about the game or players that are getting involved. If you look at this picture, I can't read lips, so I don't know what the hell he's saying, but I do a pretty good job of reading body language. And the body language here suggests to me that they're both leaning into him, and he's the one with the highest value. Now, that's pretty crazy, considering both of these guys have a lot more money and a lot more notoriety than Jason Wilcox, who's sitting in the middle. But if you look at the body language, he's the one that's straight, and both of them are leaning into him, listening to every word he has to say. That is your new sporting director. That is the guy they respect and they start to listen to, and they're going to listen to. So let's just hope that Jason Wilcox knows what he's doing, and he does a great job recruiting for Ruben Amorim, because I think Ruben Amorim is a great manager, and all he needs is better recruitment and a better plan, and this guy can make us a very, very good team. Guys, as if beating Man City in their home at the Etihad Stadium isn't big enough, that's not even going to be the biggest news of the day. The biggest news of the day is going to be the fact that Ruben Amorim left Garnacho and Rashford at home. He left them at home. The thumbnail of this video is G-Bosh. Not Gabosh, like I'm sure some of you guys read it. It's G-Bosh. Get better or stay home. We actually have that saying at my workplace. That's what we say. If you're not going to come here to get better, to work hard, then you might as well have stayed home and not come to work today. That's what we say, and that's why I used it in the thumbnail. But anyway, G-Bosh. That's what I think Amorim is trying to get across the whole squad. Get better or stay home. And guys, you're going to read some people, Samuel Lockhurst or whatever his fucking name is, he's going to be putting out some stories just for clicks, and he's going to say that Amorim probably left him out because of the way they wear clothes or whatever he says. And that's because Amorim, when he said it's performance-based, It's attitude based. And then they kept asking him more questions. And then he said, I look at everything. I look at how you work in training. I look at how you interact with your teammates. I look at what you eat. I look at how you train. I look at what you wear. Blah, 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 blah. I notice everything, and that's how I choose my team. That's what he said after they pressed him. And then I guarantee you, someone somewhere is going to be looking for clicks tomorrow morning, probably when you're watching this video, and on their headline, it's going to say Amorim doesn't like the way Rashford dresses, and that's why he left him at home, or whatever. Or he has a problem with the way he dresses, and that's why he left him at home. That is not it. The problem is they don't fit the system. And in order to fit the system, they have to change. Both of those players have to change. But not only do they have to change the exact way, like the way they play football, but they also kind of have to change their attitude. Both of them. One of them more than the other really, it has a bloated big head. One of them more than the other cannot handle criticism. One of them has been being criticized for years and years and years, and I'm pretty sure he knows how to handle criticism because, man, this fan base has given it to him for a long time, on and off, depending on what kind of year he's having. But one of them is younger. He can't handle criticism. Do I agree with what Planet Faz did to him, like a month ago or whatever, when he called him out and said, you need to pass better or whatever? No, because Planet Faz needs to shut the fuck up. He needs to do everything else better. Planet Faz, oh man, you know what? I'm not going to go on this rant because I can say some mean things about that guy. But I don't agree with him. I don't agree with anybody who doesn't actually work in that profession giving that person advice. I've told you guys this before. If you don't do what I do, if you haven't done what I've done, how could I take advice from you? I got to take advice from people who do what I do better than I do it. Not some dude eating chips at home with his cheeseburger watching me play on video on TV and then telling me I need to pass better. But anyway, that's beside the point. The point is Garnacho needs to realize that he gets paid a whole lot of money, much more money than Faz does, much more money than most of us do, to do this game, and this comes with it. You're going to get these stupid morons telling you these things. You're going to get someone like me doing a YouTube video and going, today, Garnacho didn't pass that well. It's going to happen. I'm not going to say it to his face because I'm going to be respectful. But when I'm doing my own thing on my own channel, I can say whatever I want. And that's what Faz needs to keep his business. Keep it on his own channel, on his own time, not go and invade somebody else's workplace and go, hey, dude, you suck at your job. Such an idiot move. But anyways, Garnacho needs to be able to take it and not go fuss and moan and be like, I'm not going to celebrate when I score. Dude, don't be a prima donna. You haven't done shit yet. You haven't done shit. He hasn't done anything. Rashford hasn't won a title yet, but he's done more than Garnacho. Rashford's one of my favorite players. And I told you guys in the past videos, if we happen to sell Rashford because that's what Ruben Amorim wants, he wants to let him go and build without him, I'm going to be okay with that. I'm going to be okay with that. Now, if you're one of those fans who before this game was saying something negative about leaving Rashford and Garnacho at home, then honestly you should hold your hands up and you should be ashamed. And it shouldn't be just because we won the game. If we would have lost the game, would you still be okay with the fact that Garnacho and Rashford were at home? I was okay with it as soon as I saw it. I was like, man, the manager's doing what he needs to do. I was okay with it. I don't necessarily like our attacking players, and I think Rashford offers us something. Again, I'm biased because I like Rashford, and I know that some of you are biased and you like Garnacho. And I know that some of you are like me. You're biased and you like Rashford. Fine. But I was okay with it. I didn't say a negative thing. I actually said, I hope this teaches them a lesson and makes them be willing to change. Because Rene Haka did an interview 2 days ago where he said that he was having a problem with some players unwilling to change. He literally was quoted in saying some players would say, sorry, sir, but I'd rather not change my game. And if that's what's happening, then they have to go. I don't care how much I like them. And the reason why I was okay with Jadon Sancho leaving, even though I was one of the most excited people when we signed Sancho, is because it was obvious he was lazy. It was obvious he wasn't disciplined. It was obvious he wasn't coming to practice and doing the hard work to show the manager that he needs to play. And I don't care if the manager's showing favoritism to one player over another. He's still your boss. You keep fighting. You put your head down, you keep fighting like Maguire did, and you earn respect and you get your place back. That's what you do. So guys, let's be better as a fan base. Let's understand that this manager's trying to build a system, build something. Let's not go down the same road we've gone down in the past. And I'm going to tell you something that's going to be super, super like against what most of you think. Most of you guys are going to hate what I'm about to say. So here we go. If you don't hate already half the stuff I've said, you're going to hate even more what I'm about to say. The worst player today, guys, the worst player on our squad today was Mainoo. Mainoo was the worst player on our squad today. I'm sorry. Mainoo looks unfit to me. He doesn't look like he's in shape. He looks like he's running slower than Casemiro. He looks slow to me. He got to his positions out of possession. He got to his positions slowly. He was the worst part of our press. Also, he doesn't have that many great ideas in possession. If Mainoo is going to be our, let's say, Frankie de Jong, our press-proven, our press-proof player, the guy who's going to be able to dribble past the first line of defense and then open up passing lanes and distribute the ball, we need to start seeing that, because I don't know if he's always going to be this slow or if he's actually just out of shape and he needs to lose some weight and get faster. Because if he's always going to be this slow, then he better be amazing on the ball. Because if he's not, I really don't see a place for him either in the future. And guys, I'm someone who's a Mainoo believer, but now that I saw the squad playing well and playing the Amorim system, I noticed that our slowest player was Mainoo. And that's a problem. Amorim needs physicality. He said it over and over again. So my opinion, or my advice to you guys is maybe don't even get too attached to Mainoo just yet. Just yet. Let's see if he can. I think he's not fit because he was out for a while. Let's see if he can get fit. Let's see if that'll give him an extra, a little bit more pace. And then let's see if he can turn into somebody who can receive on the half turn, turn his defender, open up new passing lanes, and keep the ball moving forward. If he's not going to do that, there's just no spot for him in the midfield. He's not a destroyer like Ugarte is. He's supposed to be a box-to-box midfielder. And if you're going to be slow, then you better be great on the ball. That's my 2 cents. And I know some of you guys are going to hate it. You're going to get in the comments and tell me how wrong I am. Go ahead, get in the comments. Let me know. For those of you who agree with me or disagree with me, let me know in the comments, guys. I love reading the comments. You know that. It's the first thing I do every time I wake up the next day after I post one of these things. And I'm always looking forward to, I'm worried. I'm always worried. I'm like, all right, let's see who's going to tell me I'm full of shit. But most of the time, you guys agree with me, which is great. But I also like the guys who don't disagree with me, as long as they say something more than you're full of shit. Explain to me where I'm wrong. Why? Is there a stat you can show me? Anything, and let me know. But he just looked a little slow to me, guys. So anyway, Garnacho and Rashford, they need to train hard. They need to learn how to play a new position. And if they don't, then they need to be moved on, because those guys are natural wingers. They are very bad in defense. They are very bad out of possession. And also the way both of them press, they don't run in arcing runs that actually like take out one of the passes and force the ball on another side. If you have, look, I think one of them is going to play against the Spurs this Thursday, no matter what, even if they don't train that well. With Mount, with Mason Mount injured now, I don't know how long he's going to be out. I think Amorim is going to be forced to play one of them, at least one of them. And when we press and watch whoever plays, Garnacho or Rashford, because they both make this mistake, watch the way they run their angles in the press. Like they fake like they're curving, or they try to curve, but it's not wide enough, so it doesn't stop the pass. Let's say you're supposed to stop the pass to the left back, and they're playing the left inside 10, okay? So our left, they're the other team's right back. So let's say they're playing left inside 10, and the other team's right center back has the ball. They're supposed to curve their run to make it impossible or not favorable for that right center back to pass to the right back, so that the ball gets forced down the middle where the rest of the team can press the ball. I have seen it countless times where Garnacho and Rashford don't curve their run big enough, and the ball goes to the right back easily, and now the press is pretty much like starting to fall apart. As long as that right back takes 2 dribbles forward and passes it back to the middle, and then our press is done. Our press is absolutely done, and then there's no point. Now we have to run back and get in a low block. Whereas today, we were hunting in packs. We were doing a really good job, and the ball was going where we dictated it to go for most, not all the time, but for most of the game. And that's really good. Mount actually does a really good job of that. So when Mount came off, it was Bruno. Bruno's, he's good. He's better than Rashford and Garnacho, but he's not as good as Mount. Mount's actually really good at that. But I take Bruno over Mount any day because Bruno offers us more in possession. Guys, that's it for today. I had more to say. I actually wanted to say some things about other YouTubers that got in a little fuss on Twitter, but then I decided not to do it just in case you guys are fans of these other YouTubers. I didn't want to like push buttons, or some of you guys probably hopefully don't even care about other YouTubers, so I would just be wasting your time. Let me know in the comments if you guys want me to tell you some stuff when I read it, because I spend a lot of time on Manchester United YouTube and Manchester United Twitter. If I see things that I don't like or I don't agree with that other people are saying, should I share it with you guys or should I just keep it to myself? Let me know in the comments. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Please click the like and subscribe if you haven't yet. And let's just all be better as a fan base. Let's back our manager no matter what decisions he makes and no matter what players he leaves out of the squad. There's a lot of excitement coming towards our way. Oh, I forgot. I almost forgot my conversation with Diogo a couple days ago. He mentioned to me that we don't even know Ugarte's passing capabilities yet. That he was telling me like Ugarte's passing all over the pitch to the right wing back, to the left wing back, spreading it around, letting everybody like get a touch of the ball. And I was like, what are you talking about? Ugarte, I haven't seen him pass like that. He goes, yeah, you guys don't even know yet. Wait till you see. Wait till he gets back into like the rhythm of things and wait to see what's going to happen. So today I was watching for that, and I noticed Ugarte was actually doing a pretty good job distributing the ball. He did it once or twice only, though. I remember it once in the second half for sure, where he hit Ahmad, I think. Yeah, where he hit Ahmad on the wing, and I was like, ooh, that's actually a really nice pass. So I haven't seen it yet. Diogo says there's more to come from Ugarte. It actually got me pretty excited because the one worry I've always had with Ugarte is how's he going to do in possession? And Diogo told me not to worry, that Ugarte is pretty good in possession too. So I'm actually very much looking forward to that. If you guys want to know what more from Diogo, he actually sent me a couple of messages today after the game. I'm just going to put it this way because I don't want to read it out. He said a lot of negative things about a lot of the players, which I've already touched on a little bit in this video. But he did say that this was Amorim's strategy, Amorim's tactics that saved us, and everybody was doing better running the tactics. The passing was a little bit quicker, and you know the tactics got us through, and we managed to win the game because a lot of the players were actually putting their heart and soul into it. So again, I plan on having another conversation with Diogo on Zoom sometime in the next 2 weeks. We will be hearing more from him, but it was nice to hear from a sporting fan who's been watching us evolve and watching us grow and telling me like it's playing out this kind of the same way he predicted it would play out. That's pretty cool. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching. Thank you for being with me. Like I said, like and subscribe. I'll see you soon. I'll probably be making a video Friday or maybe Thursday night, but probably Friday. So you guys will see it on Saturday. Thanks. Bye.